For as far as I can remember, there's always been a junk pile. Whether it's the time of when I was 7 with a pile of Connects and Lego, to the time where I'm now 27 with a pile of bikes and bike parts. Junk piles like this to some people is nothing but junk, but to some of us, it's gold. Granted that some of it just is rubbish. But how can we tell when a bike part, or a bike in general, has gone through the stage of its life and is now rubbish? I don't think that's a possibility. When I say I don't think it's a possibility, what I actually mean is I don't think they can have an end life. Unless you obviously ride a Trek, because Treks break all the time. Properly. At least if you ride a Rally, things stay for a very long time. They work okay. Apart from Rallies working almost all the time, we have to look at the parts that we put on our bikes, which don't always have to come from a Rally. A lot of the bike parts that I have I've acquired through bundles and off of other bikes. And sometimes I have to clean them properly and hang them out to dry. Sometimes I lack the motivation or the mood to be in to fix and or work on bikes. Usually a coffee does that. Every now and then I will have a stem of moments when I'm actually in the mood to work on something, but everything seems to be in the way and a bit of a mess, a bit of a junk pile. And after clearing today's junk pile, I think I need to start working back on where we started. Now technically where I did actually start was on my Raleigh Phoenix, which is an old racing bike where the first ever video was I built my bike with Temu parts. After fitting 1 or 2 items from Temu and called it I built my bike, it's a little bit embarrassing to go back to. So we're going to skip that one and go to my famous Raleigh Mustang. Since the days of the Mustang, I have scrapped some parts off of it. Well, I say scrapped, I've borrowed them in time to fit to other builds. So we need to either put it back together or weigh up, do we pull it apart and sell the frame? A frame that's not really the right size for me. As in one of the latest videos from Craig, Second Life Bikes, he said, don't hold on to a bike that isn't your size. And the Mustang isn't my size. So it might be time to bite the bullet and pull it apart. And then add it to the junk pile. See, now we're in a bit of a dilemma. I've got the bike out, I've taken some snazzy shots of it, and I fell in love with it again. I've given it a quick measure up, and from the top of the seat tube to the centre of the crank, it measures 21.5 inches, which seems to be the right size for me-ish. Weirdly enough, when you place it next to the M-Trax, you can see a major difference in the seat tube angle. Yes, the M-Trax does measure over at 20 inches from the top of the seat post down to the crank, but there's a major difference. So with the Mustang being technically kind of my size, and actually a little bit bigger than the M-Trax, maybe I should keep it, and keep it as one of the original rallies of the channel. Now, with time moving on, and looking back at the rallies that I've had, one of them that made a bit of a stamp mark was the Storm. So I think it's time we look back at that one and see if we can save it from the junk pile. This one actually is on the junk pile. Now the Storm might be a bike that we're going to have to do a complete build video on, once I've had a couple of ideas as to what to do with it. I am already thinking a winter beater, which might be quite on point, bearing in mind it's called the Storm. When it comes to the Raleigh Storm, size is on its side. Measuring from the top of the seat post down to the crank is a 23-inch length. Definitely no point letting this one go to waste, because it's probably the perfect base for a winter build. With the name of Raleigh Storm, it's a bit perfect, don't you think? I want to see what bikes you've saved from the junk pile. Bikes that needed a little bit of love, needed a second chance. Send me in some pictures, send them over to Instagram, or if you manage to find me on Facebook, if you know me that well, by all means. Try not to bombard me with everything. I don't really know how you do one of those Google files like Craig does on Second Life Bikes, so we'll have to deal with the lesser quality pictures. Send me an explanation of what you've done with your bike and a little bit of information on it. Maybe even send in a video or voice note of the bike. I think it's time for a subscribers bike special. A big thank you to everyone who has subscribed, because we've reached over 1,000 subscribers now, and I think it's 1,040 or something like that by now. I mean, but who's counting? Maybe we'll do a sort of react on your bikes. Also head over to my Vinted and have a look at the sort of parts that I list up on there. Some of the bikes in that junk pile have got some good parts on, and I pick them off and list them up on my Vinted. I'll leave the link here and go and check it out. Talking about bike parts and buying things and selling stuff, Marlon from Babby London Bikes is having another bike jumble. He is down in London again, and it's quite a distance for me, but I wouldn't miss it, and I'm definitely going again. If it's something of interest for you guys, definitely head down there. I will leave the post here. Thank you ever so much for watching, guys, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye! Measuring from the top... Measuring from the... Measuring from the...